You're not gonna shoot a puppy, are you, Jack?
Yeah, in the face. Why?
You ever watch a kid's movie and think, damn, that dude might haunt my dreams tonight? That's exactly what happened to me when I watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and they introduced me to Big Jack Horner. Remember little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie? Cute, right? Sweet, simple, and safe.
Stuck in my thumb, pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I?"
Safe. Well, DreamWorks looked at that and went, what if this guy was the most terrifying, dead-inside, magic-obsessed sociopath we've ever made? And then they actually did it. This man, scratch that, this chaos gremlin in a purple robe, literally burned fairy tale creatures alive, weaponized magical baby unicorn horns, and casually threw his own hench people into a wood chipper. In a damn kids movie. Oh, and he did it all while cracking jokes and smirking like he's on a sugar high. But how did DreamWorks pull this off? How did they make a nursery rhyme villain outshine even the Grim Reaper in the same movie? So you've got Puss in Boots, a swashbuckling cat on his final life, running from literal death. You've got Goldilocks and her chaotic bear crime family chasing the same treasure. And then, crashing into the plot like a medieval Elon Musk on steroids, is Big Jack Horner. But this dude's mission? Steal the wishing star and use it to absorb every last ounce of magic in the fairy tale universe. Not one wish. Not even something mildly relatable like immortality or true love. No, Jack wants all the magic. Like a kid in a candy store, but with godlike power and no adult supervision. And unlike death, who's this calculated, terrifying force of nature? Jack is pure, unfiltered chaos. He's got a bag of enchanted weapons straight out of a Dungeons & Dragons fever dream. We're talking Cinderella's mice with crossbows, a phoenix that gets blown up on command, and baby unicorn horns that literally explode on impact. Yep, he weaponizes unicorns. Fucking unicorns? And you know what's actually wild? He treats it all like he's playing Fortnite Man. No empathy, no remorse. His henchmen die, shrug. Fairy tale beings beg for their lives, who cares? Jack's got one goal and he's stomping through the story like a bulldozer made of glitter and rage. Even the other villains are like, bro, what is wrong with you? But that's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't have rules. Where most villains have some sort of boundary, like maybe don't vaporize an entire forest, Jack crosses that line and then burns the map. Every time he shows up, the story gets darker, weirder, and somehow funnier. You're laughing, but also checking to make sure your childhood memories didn't just catch fire. He's not even scary because of what he does. It's because of who he is. The scariest part? Before we move on, I want to ask you guys for some help. I am trying to reach more subs, and you could help me with that. So if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's go back. Here's the scariest part about Big Jack Horner. He's not broken. He's not tragic. He's just rotten. Most great villains in animated films, you kind of get them. You can argue Killmonger in Black Panther had a point. You maybe even cry for Lotso from Toy Story 3. Dude got left behind. Even Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2 had a Shakespearean backstory. But Jack Horner? He doesn't need a reason. He doesn't have a reason. He's just evil because he likes it. And honestly, that makes him 10 times scarier. DreamWorks wasn't trying to make you feel sorry for him. They weren't building up to some emotional twist where you realize, oh, Jack's mom never loved him, and that's why he burns orphans with unicorn horns. Nope. The closest we get is him whining about how Pinocchio got a movie and he didn't. That's it. That's the motive, and he's a man-child with unlimited power and zero impulse control. What really makes it creepy is how he delivers everything with this over-the-top, cheerful tone. John Mulaney's voice is all slick and sweet like a stand-up comic at a birthday party. And he's saying the most messed up stuff. It's unsettling because it shouldn't be funny, and yet you laugh, and then feel bad about it, and then laugh again. It's emotional whiplash. And then there's the body count. Jack kills more characters on screen than most R-rated villains. He turns fairy tale creatures into cannon fodder. He orders deaths like he's ordering takeout. The guy literally tries to nuke the entire map of magic. But maybe the most disturbing moment? When he's about to die and he doesn't care. No screaming, no bargaining. Like evil was just his day job and he's clocking out early. There's something deeply off about someone who's that comfortable with destruction. So, yep, forget the Reaper in the cloak. The real horror in this movie wears velvet, talks smooth, and thinks morality is optional. And the guy voicing him? That's actually a whole other layer of genius if you look into it. Real talk, guys. John Mulaney was the last person anyone expected to voice the most terrifying villain in a DreamWorks movie. Like, this is the guy known for stories about walking into Walgreens and sounding like a divorced dad. He's stand-up comedy royalty, not exactly the face of cartoon evil. And yet, I think he crushed it, man. What makes Mulaney's performance so good is that he doesn't try to be scary. He plays Jack Horner like a dude who thinks he's totally reasonable. Every line is delivered with that signature dry sarcasm, even when he's talking about erasing all magic from the universe or setting people on fire. The combo of a cheerful voice with horrifying content is where the real magic happens. It's that contrast that messes with your brain. You keep waiting for the joke to stop, but it doesn't. And that's when you realize Jack isn't funny because he's harmless. He's funny because he's actually terrifying. Mulaney doesn't just voice a villain, he sells a personality that's charming, annoying, unpredictable, and dead inside, all at the same time. Jack didn't just dominate the screen, he redefined what a villain could be. So, what is the real reason that Jack Horner might be DreamWorks' boldest move yet? Jack Horner works, not as a meme, but as a character. And that's the twist. He works so well because he's aggressively not deep. In an age where every villain needs a tragic past, a redemption arc, or a misunderstood trauma, Jack Horner strolls in with a magic staff and is just a miserable person because he wants to be. And DreamWorks leans hard into that. It's so rare and honestly refreshing to see a big studio embrace a villain who's cartoonishly evil with zero self-awareness. Jack doesn't evolve, he doesn't learn, he doesn't get humbled. He just gets worse every single minute. That's what makes him magnetic. Every other villain wants power because they were hurt. Jack, he just wants power because it's shiny and he's better than everyone else. Well, that is one hell of a reason. He reminds me of if Gaston and Syndrome had a baby, raised it on pure ego and glitter, and then gave it nuclear magic. He's a satire of entitlement. Jack thinks the world owes him everything because he was in a nursery rhyme once. His origin story isn't some heart-wrenching flashback, it's him pouting that he never got his own franchise. That's it. That's the wound. So Jack Horner is dangerous, not because of skill, but because of complete indifference to anyone else. He's like a bulldozer powered by insecurity and delusion. He's not strategic, he's just relentless. That's scarier than some tactical mastermind because you can't reason with someone who thinks empathy is for peasants. He's the perfect foil to Puss, who's learning to value life and connection. Jack's like, life? Please, I'm trying to nuke fairy tale reality into submission so I can finally feel something. In short, Jack Horner isn't just a bad guy. He's a walking, talking rejection of every modern villain rule. And he's having the time of his life doing it. So what does all this say about DreamWorks and where their villains are headed next? You tell me. With The Last Wish, DreamWorks showed us what happens when you stop trying to make villains relatable and instead just let them be evil. And the result? We got one of the boldest, funniest, and most nightmarishly iconic characters they've ever created. So the next time you hear a nursery rhyme, just remember, since Little Jack Horner can become the most horrifying villain DreamWorks ever created, who knows what your childhood favorite might turn into next?